I have some very good news for you and for anybody out there that's willing to listen and hear the truth that I've come to discover, that you don't need 99% of the things that you think you need. More good news. There's a world that's ready to accept you. A world that's so much better than the one you've been living in, truly. And the world that's ready to accept you, that's ready to receive you, is the real world. Actual, real life. It's right here, right now, ready to receive all of us. Because what I've come to see time and time again, enough so to the point that I could no longer ignore it, is that the world that we're born into, the societal world, the cultural world, the social world, it's not actually real life. But we never stop to question that or realize that. Understand this. That's not real life. That's not the real world. It's social role-playing. It's role-playing. It's fantasy. But because the majority of people all accept that this is human life, this is what human life is, this is, right? We just accept that this is totally normal. This is what it means to be human, and we just agree and go along with it. But it's not real life. It's fantasy role-playing. It's just a game that people are unconsciously agreeing to play every single day of their lives. And I want to point out some things about what this game, not real life, a game that people play and believe is real. Okay, the outfits, it's just dress up. It's just fantasy role-playing. Okay, all the identities and the stories that everybody has. I'm a business person. I'm a trash truck driver. I'm a husband. I'm a mother. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a hedge fund billionaire. These are all just characters. They're not real. They're just outfits. They're just ideas. Okay, there's something more to you beyond these things, and I know you've always felt it. But before we get into that in this video, I want to point something out very clearly, okay? Where is this fantasy role-playing game, the world that we think is the real world but is not? It's a false one that people just agree to take part in, right? Where does this actually lead people? Well, let's go ahead and look. We've got mental illness out of control, running rampant. Pretty much everybody's got something now, okay? We've got depression, anxiety at all-time highs. We've got illness in the body. We've got, think about this, okay? We've got the majority of people experiencing the highest pleasures in life. To them, the highest pleasures is when they get home and turn on their video games or their TV, or they drink their beer, or they smoke their weed, or whatever other drugs they're into, okay? We've got these indulgence type pleasures of eating all this food or having sex or whatever these things are, okay? And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with these activities. What I'm trying to point out is that this is the peak of existence for most people. And I'm not making this up. Look around you. There's a world that's so much better than that world. So much better. And it's not in some other dimension that you get to go to after this lifetime, okay? Let's cut through this bullshit that so many religions, they just do not understand the real message of the people who were awake, who spoke these things. The world that is ready to receive you is the real world, the one that's right here, right now in this moment, that most people never see or even touch for their entire lives. What do I mean by this? Okay, people come out to this beautiful spot all the time, but how many of them are actually here? Most of them aren't. Their body is here, but they're thinking about what they're going to do the next day, or what so-and-so who's also with them is thinking about them. Or they're worrying about this, or they're worrying about that. And again, I see that the only people who are able to find any sort of pleasure even in this place, they're smoking weed and they're drinking beer. And I'm just saying to you, again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with these things, but what is going on here? What is going on here is that the human population, the human collective, has subscribed to an idea that we are supposed to be someone. And that supposed to be someone-ness is so painful to your true spirit, your soul, your higher self, God, source creation, whatever you want to call it, is totally fine with me. The universe, the real life. Real life. Not the false fantasy role play everybody's doing that's making them all sick and dead. Dead inside, withering away spiritually. Losing touch with all that they actually are. Living their entire life being someone they thought they were supposed to be, suffering every single moment of it with brief moments of peace, usually given to them by some sort of substance or some TV show, and of course those special moments where you're with someone you love in the sun setting and you touch it for 1 second. The boundlessness of your true spirit. You touch it for 1 second, you feel that peace, and you ask yourself, man, I want more moments like these. How do I get them? Simple. Stop being so busy trying to be someone. That's the false world. Think about it like this. We're all spirit. If you don't agree with me, I don't really care, and it's not that important for you to understand what I'm saying here. So just bear with me, okay? We're spirit. We're each a spirit, okay? And think about it like we're like kids. And we wake up in this world as these people, and we start trying on all these different outfits. We start trying on all these different costumes. Which costume do I like the most, okay? Then we start trying on social costumes, as in personas, personality. By the way, most people think they are their personality. That's how they relate to the world. You are not your personality. Personality is just an idea you picked up along the way. Your personality could change in an instant if you saw the truth of who you actually are. It's just another outfit you're wearing. Unfortunately, so many people believe that they are their personality that it becomes a prison to them for their entire lives. Need more evidence of this? People pay hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting in therapy to try to have their personality or their dysfunctional upbringing, which everybody has a dysfunctional upbringing in this world because we're born into a world where everybody forgot who they really are. Let's just call it as it is. We are born into a world where all the adults around us who are teaching us to be something we're not because they forgot how to be what they are, and it's this chain reaction of poison, of spiritual death being spread like the plague. But you don't need to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting in a therapy room to have someone mentally trained in helping you to unwind your persona and your subconscious ideas and all these things and help to plant in more positive ones. You don't need any of that. I'm telling you, you do not need 99% of the things you think you need. Okay? All that stuff, remember, it's just outfits. And these outfits, you've started to believe are you. Not because you're an idiot. I want to make this clear. It's not because you're stupid. It's not because you're an idiot. It's not because you're so dumb and there's something wrong with you. It's literally not for any of that. My personal opinion is that this happened to you. You started to identify with yourself and believe this is you because everybody around you taught you to do that. But that was not your original being. Look at babies, right? Look at infants. Look at toddlers. Look at how free they are. Look how they're not trying to impress anybody. Look at how they're not trying to be something. They're just here in the moment as they are. Okay? You're born real. The realness that you are. It's trained into you to be fake. And let's just point something else out, okay? I know the things I'm saying may be a little bit pointed and a little bit controversial. I don't really care. Okay, why? Because I suffered for so long in my life trying to fit into something that never had my best interest at heart. I left that world. Truly, I've left it behind. No longer do I seek for any sort of validation. No longer do I try on outfits and see if this is me. I figured it out. I'm a naked person. Okay, I'm talking beyond the outfit, by the way. I'm not going to be naked in this YouTube video, or it wouldn't be allowed to exist on the internet, and you'd never get to see this. But spiritually, I'm naked. Spiritually, I'm a brand new baby, born every single moment, not holding on to any idea of myself, of who I'm supposed to be. I'm just here, fresh, free in each moment. Every single word that I'm saying, it's a new moment. I'm not pulling from an idea that I'm trying to lead you to. There's no start or finish line in this video. There is this moment right here, right now. And I am infinite boundlessness. I am spirit expressing itself. Why? Well, firstly, I'm just going to point out, anybody who's sensitive to energy, you can feel it off of me. You know that I am here. It is unmistakable. You're likely feeling all sorts of things and activations going on because I'm reminding you of who you are when you're free from all the bullshit. But you see, I carried bullshit for so long trying to fit into a world that, like I said, never had my best interest at heart. I tried to impress people who were confused and did not know who they are. When you live in such a way that you do not need anybody's approval, and you realize that the stuff that our culture and society is trying to sell to you is absolutely bogus, it shifts and changes everything. That's your entrance into the real world, which is ready to receive you and is so much better than the fake world, I'm telling you. Okay, here's the fake world. You're sitting there minding your own business, and some dude walks by, and he has a giant trash bag that's empty, and he goes like this, whoop, and he catches the air, and he ties it off. And then he holds it in front of you and gives you a whole sales pitch about why you need this bag of air and tries to sell it to you and convince you that you need it. Why would you need to buy the air from this person when there's free air all around? Spirit is thriving in each moment for those who are present. The world is abundant. Fruit will be given to you. You do not need to subscribe to these false ideas of this system that is, let's just be perfectly honest, withering away and falling apart and is not going to last much longer. Let's look at the system. It is so obviously stupid, broken, confused. We cannot ignore it as a collective, as a human species any longer. It's nonsense. I'm realizing it, and you're realizing it too. That's how I know it's not going to last much longer, because we're able to be here having this conversation. And if you're ready to step into the free life, the true life, which I'm going to talk a little bit more to you about, thank you for liking this video, dropping a comment below, and sharing this video with a friend to help this message reach more people. Thank you for doing this. I know that some part of you can tell the realness of this, and that it's time for this kind of truth to be what moves. Not... Let me get into this, okay? You do not need 99% of the things you think you need. You don't, okay? Your brain has been programmed to crave these things. For example, all the unhealthy foods or the super fast clickbait content, right? We're seeing that thriving right now in the culture, okay? Instant gratification things. People on YouTube now, in order to keep their subscribers' attention, have to just do crazy things and have flashing stuff and constant edits and music and different pictures moving by because people's attention spans don't know how to be present anymore because your mind has been programmed to need more. If you were to come out here and sit here alone for even 20 minutes, you would be faced with the part of your brain that goes, I want to check my phone. I want to watch a movie. Maybe I should play some music. Maybe I should hit my joint. Maybe I should drink my beer. Maybe I should, swipe on Tinder real quick or go out and, somewhere private and watch some porn and release myself. Look, all of this stuff, your brain is programmed for this. I'm telling you right now, you have been subjected to constant commercials and information coming to you through media, music, people around you, constantly. The world is full of so much stimuli that your brain has clung to the need for more. And this is not a good thing. Let me tell you right now, this is not a good thing, okay? This is not leading to anything good. This is leading to horrible living, where nobody understands what peace or joy or love feels like anymore. We're living in a world where nobody really knows. Because to know these things, you'd need to be willing to sit down and be in the real world right here in this moment as the true being that you actually are. You'd have to take off the mask. You'd have to take off the costume the world has trained you that you have to wear. You'd have to get completely naked, and that terrifies everyone. Scares the shit out of them. Because it forces you to have to realize you've spent 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years building a castle on a sand hill that is falling apart. And that may scare you. But if you just let it all fall apart and crumble, I'm telling you, what will be left is who you really are. And it's so much better than all that falseness. But I want to tell you something. You step away from these things. The crazy stimuli, the need for dopamine, and just, you step away from it, and you'll have a pretty horrific week. You will. You'll be writhing in pain. You'll be craving it. You'll be forced to face all these feelings of anxiety, depression, questioning, who am I? Who am I without all this stuff? You're going to have a horrific week. I'm telling you right now, you let this stuff go, you will have a horrific week. But then something interesting happens. Your brain, which is actually malleable and extremely adaptive, which we have all kinds of scientific evidence now to prove is true. It's malleable, adaptable. You now adapt to a reality where you do not need these stimuli anymore. You can begin to feel the sun on your face and feel the blissfulness of that. You begin to actually be aware of your own breathing, which you, for some reason, never noticed before. You begin to feel electricity moving throughout your body. It's just natural energy moving through you. And it's bliss and ecstasy that is far better than all the weed you were smoking or the beer you were drinking or even the psychedelics you were taking. Okay, you step away from the media, you step away from all this stuff, and you step into the real world, and you begin to discover who you really are underneath all that noise. And then something real is born in you, something very real. And at this point, God, the universe, source, infinite intelligence, your soul, higher self, whatever you want to call it, recognizes that you are here and that you are aware of the truth. And at this point, the entire world starts lifting you up because it wants you to succeed, because the real world really would love to have, this is what I've come to experience, the real world, God, the universe, infinite intelligence, source, would love to have your attention. Not because it needs you. It will be fine without you. If the whole human population were to die off, which my theory is that is what's going to happen if we start cutting down national forests to build houses and stuff. I think at that point, infinite intelligence is going to push out some sort of plague through nature to destroy us. And at that point, I would not even resist it. I'd say, I understand. Get rid of us. Talk about a virus, right? I think it's very important we become conscious and we all choose to not let this nonsense happen. Don't let this nonsense happen. Don't let it happen. Life wants us to receive life. Life doesn't want us to be so depressed and anxious and unhappy and sad and the only pleasures we know being jerking it to porn or taking drugs. What is this? Come on. Spirit is asking for you to come into the real world. And it's not a world that's beyond this one that you get to enter once you die, okay? This is nonsense. This is people who have misunderstood those who were awake, who spoke the truth. They do not understand. This is not some world that you get access to after this one. It's the real world that's here right now that you get access to when you stop subscribing and feeding your energy into the bullshit world that doesn't care about you, but wants you to run on a wheel like a hamster. Simple. Now let me reiterate something, okay? You do not need 99% of the things you think you need. You don't. I've been out here for a long time. No phone service, no TV downloaded onto my phone, no porn, okay? No crazy sugary or fatty snacky foods. Literally just raw fruits, raw vegetables, lentils, okay? not watching anything. I have not listened to music at all. I'm just here. And I did have a horrific few days of detoxing, all of these such things. But you do detox it. And then you find yourself entered into the real world where you can finally hear what it was that was speaking from within you all along. I am here now. My life is mine. It always has been. Why was I giving it to this false system? Why was I giving it to the falseness around me? Why did I let everyone around me in my life convince me I was supposed to be someone just to fit in? It doesn't make any sense. You start to see it's absolute nonsense. And once you really see it, I think it's pretty obvious. Why the hell would you ever go back to it? The pleasure that you could experience, the truth that you could experience without any of these things that people spend their entire lives working to buy more of. Buy more, buy more, buy more. Now I need the new thing, the new thing. It's a sickness. It's a confusion. You do not need any of these things. They're not helping you. They're ruining your life. They're stealing your real life from you. And you've just become a consumer who's generating massive wealth for people who have billions, but for some reason, they're sick too and they think they need more. Billions isn't enough for them. Okay? We're all sick or we're healthy. We're all asleep or we're awake. We're all false or we're true. We're wearing costumes and playing dress up and believing that we are this person and it's so important that I am this, or we're not. The choice is yours. What do you think? What are you willing to let go of? Has anything in this video struck a chord with you that you know it's time to walk away from something or let go of something or step into something more real? If so, please let me know below. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you. Much love to all of you. And I look forward to seeing you in the next Vibes and Frequencies video. See you there.